York Giants Sports Talk and Entertainment. Oh my goodness. What a win. And what a win for Joe Judge. And we have to send a big thank you card to Ron Rivera for running that stupid play for the 2-point conversion, and Tae Crowder for not allowing Daniel Jones to have the ball. Oh my goodness. Daniel Jones needs to send Tae a big ass thank you card, because I had zero confidence if they would have gotten the ball back if it wasn't for old Tae. Oh my goodness. And Ron Rivera, thank you so much. I appreciate everything that you just did for the New York Giants. We are not going to go 0-16, which is fantastic. I think that is going to be the best news I've heard in a long time. I don't want anyone to think that this is a good football team, because this was just a bad game. These are two horrid teams. I mean, I've seen some bad games before, but these are two teams that are basically on the same level. I honestly was hoping that it was going to finish in a tie, because of the fact that these are just two really, really bad teams. But you know what? We are the best of the worst. That's what we're going to call us, the best of the worst. But I love it, because you know what? We weren't going to go 0-16, and I had concerns about 0-16. But all seriousness aside, good game. Good game for the Giants in regards to the defense. But again, we have to take this all with a grain of salt, because this all really came down to one play. And we have to beat another team besides the Washington team. That's all there is to it. I mean, I think Garrett went smart with running the ball as much as he did with Devontae Freeman. I know it wasn't for much success. It was, yes, 18 carries, 61 yards, 3.4. I'm glad that he took the game out of Daniel Jones's hands. And again, Daniel Jones tries to turn around and, snatch victory out of the jaws of defeat. Or I should say, snatch the jaws of defeat. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he throws another interception in the end zone. He's got to throw that ball deeper away. That's all there is to it. I mean, he can't throw that ball the way he threw it. I knew it was a fantastic play, but he's got to get ready. He's got to just chuck that ball through the end zone into the freaking stands. He can't keep it in the field of play. We got to send out some love to CJ Board. I know he evidently has, I think, some movement. He's got a sprained neck and probably a concussion, but that was a pretty scary play. And a big thumbs up for Austin Mack for his 1 receptions for 1 yard for a 1.0 yard average. Oh, you gotta love it for Austin Mack. You gotta give him some props to Victor Cruz 2.0. I'm just busting Austin Mack's jobs. It was just, you know what? I am so glad we won this game. But if you take a look at this game from an NFL perspective, this is a bad game. These are just two really bad teams. And I am glad that we are not as bad as Washington. We are 1-5 and going to play Philly on Thursday. It's going to be a short week. And like I said, we do have to give a big props and a big shout out to Tae Crowder, because Tae had one hell of a game. I mean, he had 10 tackles. He had the big interception big recover of the fumble for the touchdown. Logan Ryan was a huge standout as well today. Blake Martinez had one of his better games with his 14 tackles, 8 solo. The offense for the Giants, you know what, guys? We just have to be glad that we were playing the Washington football team, because our offense is still anemic. Daniel Jones still has his issues, but we're not going to get into any of that. We are just going to keep celebrating that Ron Rivera is an idiot. So, you know what? I love Ron. I am going to send Ron Rivera a Christmas card and a present, because that was the biggest boneheaded play. I know they call him Riverboat Ron, but that was the biggest boneheaded play that I have ever seen an NFL coach call. You give up a fumble and you the other team takes it back, and you drive the ball down to potentially tie it and take it into overtime after you have this team on the ropes, and you go for the 2-point conversion. Oh my God, this is going to go down in Giants lore. This is better than the miracle at the Meadowlands. This is I don't know what we're gonna call. I don't know what we're gonna call this. The dope of the dope of MetLife. I mean, but I am truly in love right now with Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera, you are getting a Christmas card. You are getting a Christmas present because we are not going 0-16, which just is the best news that I have heard all day long. I'm so glad that we got a win. I am so glad that Joe Judge got off the snide. I'm so glad we are going to be 1-5, which is the weirdest thing you ever want to say. I am so glad that Daniel Jones did not have the opportunity to take the ball and throw the game away. And I've always said this, Daniel Jones needs to throw for under 23 times a game for the Giants to win, and he threw 19 times. And you know what? He's got to stop running, though. I know they're designed runs because they can't get him to pass, but he's going to get himself killed. And there was 2 plays that were called personal fouls against him on the run. The one play they got called a personal foul against the guy. Daniel Jones didn't slide; he went head first. And they said that he led with his head. He didn't lead with his head; he led with his shoulder. Thank God. You know what's funny? People were saying Dallas paid off the refs. Giants paid off the refs today. And I even told a guy that I was watching the game with. I said, you know what's funny? I said, I don't think the NFL wants New York to be 0-6. So they slipped the refs to 20 because there was a couple plays that I was shaking my head. Like, that's not a penalty. And there was multiple holding penalties against the Giants that were not called. I mean, there was penalties where Nick Gates had a handful of jerseys. Same with Cam Fleming, same with Andrew Thomas. It was good to see Matt Perret again. He looked good. I do not know why we keep shifting him out. We should just keep him in the damn game and let the kid play. You know, we are a bad team. We are not going anywhere. I don't want anyone to get the delusion that this was a phenomenal win by the Giants, because it's not. It was a really bad game. If you know anything about the NFL and watch the NFL, this was just a bad game. This was a bad game to watch. This is a bad game with 2 really bad teams. And that's all this is. And Daniel Jones has to beat someone else besides Washington. He beat a bad Tampa team last year, and he beat Washington twice. So 3 of his 4 wins are against Washington. He's got to actually beat somebody else. That's all I'm saying about that. And you know what? And like I said, I am glad. I am most happy for Joe Judge, because Joe Judge, in some ways, like I said, I'm turning the corner with Joe Judge. He does not deserve this team, because I don't, and I don't mean that by the fact that he's coaching so well and they're just not executing. He seems like a good guy, and he seems like a guy that's trying to work with these players. And there was some bone. We're not going to get into all the bone. There was a lot of bonehead plays in this game. And I'm not even going to get into some of the penalties. I'm not going to get into some of the things. Madre Harper, you know what? Madre Harper, you need to tackle the guy. You can't olay him. You can't grab. When Kyle Allen's running for the first down, you can't sit there and olay him. You got to tackle him. You got a shot to tackle the quarterback. You know, and Kyler Frackwell, thank God that he caused the fumble, because that 15-yard penalty at the headhunting you were doing, oh my God, what the hell were you thinking? The ball was gone. The ball was laying on the ground when you projected yourself into the receiver, leading with your helmet. There was so many other things that ticked me off about this game, but I am so glad that they won this game. It's funny, though, because I was building my thumbnail during the final 2 minutes, and I built my thumbnail, and I built it as the Giants winning. Because like I said before, I was pushing all my chips into the middle of the table, and I was saying that the Giants were going to win the Stink Bowl. And we are number 1. I am a little interested to see what's going to happen. I mean, Andrew Thomas, we're going to get into more of a detailed wrap-up on Monday, but Andrew Thomas had some problems again today. The whole line had some problems. Will Hernandez looked good in spurts. Will Hernandez looked like he was actually, laying the wood on some players. But like I said, we just need to send a thank you card to Ron Rivera. I want every Giant to go out right now, get the address to the Washington football team's headquarters, and write out a thank you card and send that to Ron Rivera, because Ron Rivera is now my new Giant favorite player. Because he had to be working for the Giants on that one. Oh my God, I am just so excited for Joe Judge. I am so excited for Ron Rivera, who gave us a win. Oh, Ron Rivera, I am totally in love with you now. I think this is why Gilliman didn't sign him, or he didn't sign with Gilliman. There was a kind of an inside deal that if we ever got close, I'm going to throw the game for you. Because that was the dumbest play that I've ever seen. But I love it. And again, this is Entertainment with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could like, if you could subscribe, if you could ring that bell, you know what that'd be? That'd be awesome.